In this Sekiro video, I'm going to be ranking all 10 of Sekiro's prosthetic tools and comparing just what makes each one so good, or not. Recently, I made guides for each of the prosthetic tools and learned a lot about them, as well as became extremely familiar with them. On top of that, I did runs of Sekiro where I did not use R1 to attack, so I really had to lean on prosthetic tools in order to succeed. So, which one is the best? Watch on to find out. Ranking all prosthetic tools in Sekiro is not a small feat. There are many things to factor in, including spirit emblem cost, prosthetic skills, what enemies and bosses they work against, and what their best versions are. Keeping those things in mind, we'll begin with the tool I found to be the least useful overall, the loaded spear. The loaded spear comes in at the number 10 spot because it isn't as useful as it could be. The rather long wind-up animation can be easily interrupted by enemies, and you don't get much payoff for it unless you're using the spiral spear or the leaping flame. Still, you can use chasing slice to great effect against enemies that jump backward often, and it does improve your reach. This tool definitely has its uses, but those are quickly replaced by other tools that do the job better. If the damage were increased, this would be higher up on the list. The Sabimaru is extremely effective against a few enemies in the game, and some of them are very, very annoying. Unfortunately, 2 of these are optional, and that's about all that the Sabimaru is good for, so it comes in at number 9. It can be effective against more aggressive enemies like the lone shadows, but some of these are poison resistant. This makes the Sabimaru lose out against the loaded axe or even the flame vent because they are more effective in general. If this tool costed less spirit emblems, it would be higher up on the list. At number 8 is Divine Abduction, and it's listed here because just about everyone will have to farm materials or gold at some point or other, and Divine Abduction is fantastic for this. It makes something that's already tedious go much faster, not only in terms of kill speed, but also drops. Golden Vortex, for all intents and purposes, doubles the drops you will get, really helping you get the materials you need faster. Get this tool and learn to use it in new areas to get you out of jams when you need a quick kill, and for farming when you need materials. The Finger Whistle comes in at number 7 and would probably be much lower on the list if it weren't for the fact that it excels in some of the toughest fights in Sekiro. Malcontent can help you make short work of Headless and Demon of Hatred, both of which are a pain in the ass. Players often need all the help they can get when it comes to these 2 enemies, and the Malcontent delivers here where it matters most. Otherwise, this tool is utterly forgetful, particularly for the Spirit Emblem cost. Mist Raven comes in at number 6 and is extremely effective at dodging attacks and dealing damage in return. It is particularly great against many enemies where you might otherwise be stun-locked to death, and works well against opponents that are very aggressive. The best version of this tool costs 3 Spirit Emblems, or this tool would come in even higher. The Mist Raven is extremely effective, but being able to use it only 5 to 8 times a fight makes it much less efficient than it could be over the course of a whole boss fight. Additionally, waiting until you're struck uses up a lot of time you could be behind the enemy striking them mid-animation, and Contact Medicine can only be used 3 times before resting. The Loaded Axe comes in at number 5 and is a mini-boss killer. It can wipe out an entire vitality bar off a mini-boss without doing more than pressing R2, which is a bit silly to say the least. However, this trick doesn't translate well to actual boss fights, or else this tool would be much higher on the list. It does have its uses in these fights, however, and works very well when in the air, and can set the burning status abnormality. It's an all-around great tool for stun-locking enemies. The Shinobi Firecracker is another tool that has extraordinary versatility, or rather effectiveness I should say, putting it squarely in 4th place. You can cheese entire vitality bars off bosses and mini-bosses by using it, and it can protect you from some of the most devastating attacks in the game. Out of all tools, this one can increase your chances of beating bosses the most. However, it requires proper timing, and can't beat a boss all by itself, or it would be higher on the list. Still, if you need to wipe out a boss phase quickly, this very well might be one of the easiest ways to do it. The Loaded Shuriken comes in 3rd because it's easy to use and because it has so much versatility. Many areas of the game are made easier by picking off enemies that are grouped together one by one, and this is one of the few tools that can assist with this. Additionally, when combined with Chasing Slice, it becomes much more powerful and gives you much longer range with the Sabimaru. Many enemies in the game jump backwards, and Chasing Slice can help you punish them for doing so, where you might otherwise take damage. This tool also gets points for being straightforward, allowing for anyone to understand just how to use it. I've put the Flame Vent at number 2 because it is the most useful in boss fights where things like spinning to win with the Loaded Axe aren't overly useful. There are also several bosses that have fast posture regeneration, and this tool can make quick work of them by preventing this, particularly because their posture gauge fills quickly from deflecting. Living Force might very well be the best prosthetic tool skill, allowing you to coat your blade in fire or spectral fire, both of which absolutely wreck enemies. This makes fights like Guardian Ape, Headless, or Shichiman Warrior very easy, and you don't even need Divine Confetti. Since these are some of the most pain in the ass fights in the game, this is a huge pro. In short, you can use this tool in just about any boss or mini-boss fight to great effect. The loaded umbrella takes the #1 spot because of its versatility and effectiveness in so many different scenarios. It can protect you from thrust and grab perilous attacks, it reduces the posture damage you take when blocking, and it allows for much easier deflections against successive hits. And on top of all of that, it can be used as a deadly weapon once you acquire projected force. Did I mention that it can shoot projectiles? You get all this for the lowly cost of 1 Spirit Emblem. But wait, there's more. Later versions can protect you from terror and fire while also coating Sabimaru for 1 strike, allowing you to deal even more damage. Win. Once you learn to use this tool, you'll take it literally everywhere. Stay tuned for more Sekiro content as we cover all of the combat arts.